Good morning, I'm Craig Negrelli. It's Friday, January 17th, 2025, and these are your Unbiased Updates. Deal reached. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says it's a go. When the Israeli government will vote on the ceasefire with Hamas, how many prisoners would be released, and what other stipulations are part of ending the 15-month war. And the clock ticks toward TikTok possibly going dark this weekend. What President Joe Biden and incoming President Donald Trump both might do to keep the social media giant from shutting down.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world, these are today's Unbiased Updates.
We start with major new developments in the Middle East and what a difference 24 hours makes, where it looks like a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas will finally come to fruition. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says a deal with Hamas to return Israeli hostages, including Americans, held in the Gaza Strip has been reached. Talks of a deal hit a snag yesterday when Netanyahu said Hamas tried to go back on parts of the agreement. Israel's security cabinet is now set to meet later today to discuss the ceasefire and hostage release deal. A wider cabinet vote to approve the deal is expected tomorrow. The deal would see a pause in fighting in Gaza and the phased release of hostages as well as Palestinian prisoners. If approved, it would take effect Sunday. This development comes even as huge blasts from southern Israel could be seen over the Gaza skyline early this morning. On Thursday, Israeli airstrikes killed at least 72 people in the territory. That's according to Gaza's health ministry. The military says it hit approximately 50 militant targets across the Gaza Strip over the past day, including weapons storage facilities and rocket launch sites. This is not unprecedented. In past conflicts, both sides have stepped up military operations in the final hours before ceasefires as a show of strength. Here in the U.S., a new threat looms in fire-ravaged Southern California. Landslides. Authorities say leveled structures no longer hold the earth in place in some parts of the hillside. Water from fire hoses and broken pipes has saturated the ground, creating a dangerous situation. This as officials in Los Angeles are telling residents forced to evacuate by the deadly fires over the past week not to go home yet. They're urging the evacuees to wait at least another week to return, whether their home was destroyed or spared, so emergency responders can remove toxic waste from incinerated neighborhoods and cut off potentially dangerous electricity and gas lines. Also, the Environmental Protection Agency has to remove hazardous materials from damaged and destroyed homes before debris can be hauled away and utilities are fully restored. The deadly fires have now claimed the lives of at least 27 people, and more than 82,000 are still under evacuation orders as the Palisades and Eaton fires continue to burn, with no end in sight. They've scorched a combined area of about 60 square miles and destroyed thousands of homes. As of CAL FIRE's latest update, the Palisades fire remains 22% contained, while the Eaton fire is now 55% contained, up from 45%. It appears firefighters have made some progress in battling the infernos over the past day. As a reported 170 million users wait with bated breath, a Supreme Court decision on whether to uphold a U.S. ban on the popular social media app TikTok is expected any time now. That ban is set to take effect this Sunday, January 19th. However, the Biden administration is now signaling it will not immediately enforce the ban, instead leaving it up to the Trump administration, which starts Monday with President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration. Trump has already asked the Supreme Court to delay when the law takes effect. And the Washington Post reported this week he's considering an executive order to suspend the enforcement of the ban. Even if neither administration takes action to enforce the ban, TikTok can still decide to voluntarily shut down when the deadline hits on Sunday. TikTok is not required to go dark. It's the app stores and internet hosting services that could be on the hook if they keep providing TikTok. The Justice Department has said that TikTok is a national security risk because the app could lead to the Chinese government, through ByteDance, accessing vast amounts of personal data from Americans. In just 3 days, President-elect Donald Trump will take the oath of office and become the nation's 47th president. As Inauguration Day approaches, confirmation hearings continue in Washington, D.C. for his cabinet picks. Today, it's South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem's turn to go before senators and answer questions. Noem, Trump's nominee to lead the Department of Homeland Security, will appear before the Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee this morning. The hearing was originally scheduled for earlier this week, but was pushed back to today. If confirmed by the Senate, Noem would oversee a department with at least 250,000 employees and multiple agencies, including Customs, Border and Protection, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the Secret Service, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the Transportation Security Administration, and the Coast Guard. Now to the space race. This week, we reported on the launch of Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin New Glenn rocket. This morning, we're talking about the latest test flight from Elon Musk's SpaceX Starship rocket. As Straight Arrow News reporter Lauren Taylor tells us, not everything went according to plan.
SpaceX says its Starship, the world's largest rocket, exploded Thursday, not long after taking off from Texas for its 7th launch. The company referred to the rocket's breakup as a rapid, unscheduled disassembly. The company's owner, Elon Musk, said their early indications suggest the unmanned rocket had a fuel leak, causing Starship to fail and break up above the Caribbean Sea. Musk acknowledged videos of the rocket's explosion, reposting one on his social media site X. Starship was a pioneering rocket, with SpaceX succeeding in catching its booster after launch twice, first in October and then after Thursday's launch. NASA planned to use Starship as part of its Artemis mission to land humans on the moon for the first time in more than half a century. The agency paid SpaceX nearly $4 billion over 2 different contracts to use the company's technology in a future moon landing. The Federal Aviation Administration briefly rerouted and delayed flights in South Florida, not far from where the rocket disintegrated, to avoid debris from Starship's loss. For Straight Arrow News, I'm Lauren Taylor.
Finally this morning, an update to a story we told you about earlier this week. Fire Aid, the Live Nation concert benefiting the victims of the California wildfires, will take place on January 30th, and we now know the lineup. Billie Eilish, Earth, Wind & Fire, Green Day, Jelly Roll, Joni Mitchell, Lady Gaga, and Stevie Nicks are among the entertainers who have committed. Also, Dave Matthews and John Mayer will be performing together for the first time. Live Nation says additional artists will be announced in the coming days. Organizers say the event will raise money for rebuilding communities devastated by the wildfires and supporting efforts to prevent future fire disasters in Southern California. Fire Aid will be held in 2 venues, the Intuit Dome and the Forum, both in Inglewood, California. Tickets for the concert go on sale January 22nd. Fire Aid will be live streamed across various platforms, including Apple TV, Max, Netflix, Paramount Plus, SiriusXM, Spotify, and YouTube. It will also air in select AMC theaters. Lots of talent there. Should be dandy. Those are your Unbiased Updates for this Friday. We'll see you back here on Monday. For all of us here at Straight Arrow News, I'm Craig DeGrelli. Have a great weekend.